in this morning's legal brief, it is what everybody in the QC is talking about, right? Panthers owner Jerry Richardson selling the team, coming on the heels of accusations of workplace conduct. This announcement has left our city with a lot of questions. Nicole, Sodoma, managing principal of Sodoma Law, joining us now with some insight into what the sale means for Charlotte from a legal perspective and about the timing. Nicole, thank you for coming in, first of all. Tie that in for us. What is the significance of the team being put up for sale? It will be put up for sale after the season, but the announcement coming after these workplace misconduct allegations.
I don't think that there's new news about the fact that the Panthers are eventually going to be for sale. We were told that back in 2013, that at some point Mr. Richardson wanted to retire, wanted to sell the team. Now, the timing is unfortunate, but the contract that the city of Charlotte had with the Panthers is out there. I believe it's a public document. And it laid out that there was going to be a hard tether, if you will, and a soft tether to keeping the Panthers here, to keeping them from relocating. As we now know, which again, it's been around for a long time. It's just now that we're starting to talk about it. That June of 2019 was part of that hard tether. There was no relocation at that point. But then after that, there's going to be a penalty should someone want to come in, purchase, should the ownership transfer. But there would be a penalty if that were to happen. But now the reality is that if you can come in and afford to buy the Panthers, you can probably come in and afford to pay the penalty.
To pay that fee.
Right, but you know, think about the investment that we've made as a city into the Panthers, the renovations that have happened. It's for sure one of the best stadiums in the NFL. We don't have an attendance problem with this stadium. I think they've sold out every single game except for 2 in the franchise history. So.
Well, that opens a whole new can of worms then, what you just brought, because most of our viewers, most Charlotte residents, for the most part, would want the Panthers to stay here. If it is sold, there is the chance that not only that it's sold to new ownership, but that it then could be relocated as well. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, that's a possibility.
I mean, it's always a possibility.
Right, that's a possibility. I think it's a big fear for not only Charlotte, but our community as a whole. Also, think about we have to look at the contract too, right? So there's going to be a contract for corporate suites, the luxury suites. There are contracts there. There's some clauses in the contracts that might trigger some penalties. Often, especially with athletes and artists, there are morality clauses that speak to whether a reputation's been tarnished. Think about Ryan Lochte, the one that comes to mind, where there are morality clauses inside of some of those contracts that he had. So that might exist. I don't know yet.
Because so we have Jerry Richardson, who owns 48% of the team. 14 people own the rest. And how does that play out in terms of if they want to get in together and buy that too? I mean, there's all kinds of names being thrown around. Marcus and Bruton Smith are certainly in the mix. You know, Diddy was coming out saying Steph Curry. How much control do the minority owners have in terms of who gets the say on who gets to buy the majority ownership that Richardson currently holds?
Eventually, I think that someone's going to have to share information regarding the agreement that exists between Mr. Richardson and the other minority owners. But beyond that, look at the way that the NFL handles the ownerships and the purchases of different teams. There has to be approval. There are very strict hurdles that you have to jump in order to own an NFL team.
So you're going to be back, is what you're saying, to explain more of this, right, as more news comes out. Great to have you, Nicole Sodoma. Always wonderful to get your insight. We appreciate the time. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, happy to be here.